everybody, Geraldine Rose here. Oh, I needed to get these stencil cards done quick. I ended up finishing these cards with 22 minutes to spare. One of my magic numbers. Just a hint to those of you that have still not discovered what is unique about my channel. Anyway, they were for the stencil hop for this month. We do it on the 12th of each month, and this month the theme was thanks. I pulled out the Stencil stamp two-step simple leaves. I'm using some of my old rice paper, and I'm just stamping the ink down first, and you can see how it absorbs into the rice paper, so I was having to do it a second and a third time. On one of the cards, I decided to put embossing powder over top of it so that the ink will let it bleed out through the edges on the one, because it will spread through those rice fibers, and the other one I embossed it to contain it. Then, of course, the stencil layers, which is what this hop is about. And I'm just coming in with some of the autumnal colors here, putting it through each of the leaves. I've decided that I need to simplify my cards a little bit. These ones are not my usual huge artistic creations, but those take hours to do, and the number of subscribers that I have does not seem to reflect the fact that they like the hours that I put into making cards that are very artsy-fartsy, and also the hours of editing that it takes to do the videos for that. So we have to streamline our life a little bit, and that's what I've decided to do, is just to back things up. Now that the stenciling is done, I am coming in with that kind of a paprika red on the bottom of each of my panels. And you can see at the top there, I was using some of my old scrap extra cardstock that came in the all-new packages just for backing. I am also trying to reduce the thickness of my cards as they go through the mail. Now, I wanted to put my sentiment in. One was the Stencil stamp thanks, and the other was from All-New, the stylish greetings. I wanted to put it at that 1/3 mark from the bottom. So I've cut into each of those top rice panels, the stencil part, with the shadow layer. And I'm also going to cut out some metallic cardstock to put behind that, just kind of like as a transitionary zone between the top and the bottom. And you can see I'm tucking each of those in underneath here. The thankful didn't show that. It was one that I'd already had cut out just from a leftover panel. So here we are, just putting our little transition zone in, and we are going to glue the rice paper down. And a note to self and to you guys, rice paper, it doesn't like the glue runners. It will roll up inside of it because it's so delicate that the layers just come off of it. But now that I've got those two panels done, I am running them through the Stencil stamp. It's the Fluted Forest decor. It's an incredible one for autumn. I love using this one. It's got like little acorns and some flowers and leaves and stuff on it. And so it's got quite a bit of depth to it because it is a 3D folder as well. I know I'm losing the texture on the rice paper at the top, but it adds another effect that is really, really nice, and it ties the top with the bottom. We're going to set our sentiments into place here, making certain with the T-ruler that it is straight. I do have to get my eyes checked again and get some new glasses, I think, because, the arm is starting to get a little longer again when we're setting things into place. I squeezed some glossy accents over the thankful to elevate the shine back on that one. On the front, I wanted one little sub-sentiment. So this one, I'm coming in with just a little bit of the dark brown ink for it and pressing very carefully so that it would go over the embossing. On the inside, it was the Close to My Heart Autumn Barn stamp set for this one that we're using. And I'm also still using the leftover leaf from the Stencil stamp, the two-step simple leaves one. I pulled the one that looks like a heart because these are going out for our American friends for their Thanksgiving. And I just like the heart because it's like sending good energy, and everybody needs a little bit right now, right? And you can see what I'm doing is I'm just blending my inks. I love doing the autumn ones because you get to model your inks. And so I would put a little bit down, and then I would use the brush to blend it out a bit. Now, putting the rice paper on here, you can see I'm stretching it out a wee bit because rice paper, it's very porous, and you cut it and it will spring back. And so I was just trying to stretch it back out so that it covered the front. We're also popping on some enamel dots from Altenew. Just a few. I did put a few confetti discs up at the top on that one too. And so we'll jump to the second card. Same thing. We're going to get that little leaf in the background first in the same spot with the motley, and then we're bringing in close to my heart quotable words. I am so sad that they went out of business. Such lovely sentiments, especially for the insides of cards. Different fonts mixed, different sizes mixed, and you can see with this one, I'm just going back in, hitting some in this area, hitting some in that area, blending the inks, and I needed to darken around that center part especially so that it would sort of cover up the leaf that's in the background and that sentiment would show over top of it. So I was using like the darker reds and some browns and whatnot through the middle. You'll see it at the end. All right, for its front, I only needed the For You portion of its little stamp. And so you can see I'm wiping off the top part. I did it first in like a dark brown reddish ink, and it wasn't enough. So I brought in my Lisa Horton, the copper, and I'm going back over it again with the copper. It'll also add a little bit of shimmer, and it will tie in with the sentiment that's on this one, with the thankful from the panel that it was cut, which was one that had been an experiment with a bunch of Lindy's magical powders. All right, we've got our custom stamp going on the back of that one too. And then we'll put some shiny, shiny bling bling on it. This one had This Calls for Confetti, the copper. You know those are a favorite of mine. And there we are. Those are going to be the two finished cards. So I'm going to send these off to some of my American friends. I don't think it will make it quite in time. They might. For the American Thanksgiving. We've already had ours up here in Canada. They're a little bit more simpler than I usually do, but they're still really pretty, and I hope it brings a smile to people's faces. Be that change you want to see in the world, you know what I mean? Hope you guys are too. Thanks so much for watching and subbing and liking. That part's free, so why not, eh? We'll catch you all next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, everybody.